to discuss Mike Birbiglia. So Mike Birbiglia is an agent of the MK Ultra program. He has many different identities, one of which is the actor Ed Norton. He is one of the men who act as Ed Norton. What this agent does is that he connects to people and then he imitates them. He can transform into different identities and adopt different personalities. So even though he may not look like it, he has probably also acted as Brad Pitt. I knew this agent as Steve Anderson, who went to the same elementary school that I did, called Our Lady of Sorrows. It is a Catholic elementary school in White Plains, New York, and he used the name Steve Anderson. And Steve Anderson was a very studious person. He always got straight A's. He was known as one of the best students in our class. But the reason for this is that he relies on something like an artificial intelligence program. He relies on the MK Ultra program. The reason agents like Mike Birbiglia are so successful is because they rely on the MK Ultra's handler system, where different handlers, older agents, connect to these younger men that do whatever the older agents tell them to do. Agents like Mike Birbiglia are essentially something like Frankenstein's monster. I want everybody to look at Mike Birbiglia. He's a comic. One of his comedy acts is called Thank God for Jokes. This agent has mild Down syndrome and mild dwarfism. And the reason he has these genetic birth defects is most likely due to the practice of incest in his family. I believe that this individual is also known as Prince William from England. He is one of the boys who was photographed or who acted as Prince William from the royal family of England. So he is part of the royal family. He is something like a Frankenstein's monster. Just look at his body type. His body type suggests Down syndrome and mild dwarfism. And due to this, he is very uncoordinated. He has trouble moving and working. And he's prone to extremely out of control rage outbursts. So this is the type of person that will serve as a handler of the MK Ultra program. And I would bet one of the older agents who handled him was Dr. Robert DeCina, also known as Mark Rolston, also known as Mel Gibson, one of the men who act as Mel Gibson. I just recognized Dr. Robert DeCina, also known as Mel Gibson, in another movie, acting under another name. So the amount of actor identities that they use is endless. I think this agent also acted in the role of Thulsa Doom in the Conan movie. Let me get both their names. But Mel Gibson, also known as Dr. Robert DeCina, is most likely one of the agents that would handle Mike Birbiglia, also known as Steve Anderson, also known as Prince William, also known as Ed Norton. Both of these individuals have mild Down syndrome and mild dwarfism. They have psychiatric problems and they're prone to out of control rage outbursts. So because they have Down syndrome, because they have psychiatric problems, they depend on the MK Ultra technology system to help control the way they act in public, to help control their personalities, whoever they transform into. They depend on that. They depend on being told what to say because these people lack humanity. If you put them in a group of regular people, they are going to appear alien. They will not know how to act correctly. If you put them into a society or into a workplace and they are not aided by the MK Ultra program, they will begin to act in ways that show that they are psychotic. They have low IQs. They don't care about people. They are sadistic. They are out of touch. They do not have any experience on how to relate to people in a normal way. They will appear alien and cold. They will appear stupid. They will appear insane. So they depend on the MK Ultra technology to tell them what to think and what to say. And part of that process includes being connected to regular people who they will imitate. They will imitate John Kelly Harwood. They will imitate me so that they will appear more normal, especially on the media or in whatever situation is needed. So like I said before, when they do this to people, it is not a good thing. It's not good to be connected to psychotic inbreds like Mike Birbiglia. They are taught that once they connect to their targets, the people that they imitate, like myself, to torture and harass them. It's like being hooked up to a schizophrenic. It's like being hooked to one of the worst criminals in the world. What these people practice, these religious-based crimes, these human sacrifice rituals that they practice, that the elite practice, like the royal family, or these families like the Vanderbilts, the Bushes, and the Rothschilds, makes these people the worst criminals in the world. So that is what you're connected to. These agents who are like little Frankenstein's monsters. They are uncoordinated. They have psychiatric problems. They have rage problems. They are taught to throw fits to effect change. If something is not working, they do not calm down, take a breath, and figure out how to do things a different way. They are taught to throw tantrums to get what they want. If somebody is not doing what they want, they connect to them and they have a temper tantrum. They have a rage outburst. So this is what has developed as the world's successes. These people with mild Down syndrome and mild dwarfism. These people with major psychiatric problems. These people who are psychotic. And they connect to the regular people who they imitate to appear normal. Meanwhile, the regular people, they suffer by having to be connected to these agents who will do anything in their power to keep them down. If you're working on a cure for cancer, they will connect these psychotic idiots to you who will throw a fit, who will try to induce their problems in their target. Suddenly their problems become your problems. So I work landscaping. I just recently installed a patio. I like to stay in shape by swimming, biking, kayaking, running. So I'm somewhat coordinated. As soon as I get these individuals like Mike Birbiglia or Mel Gibson connected to me, it's like being connected to a little Frankenstein's monster who has very short legs and is uncoordinated and his arms do not work very well. Their shoulders are rounded forward. The backs of their hands point outward. And I guess what they do is they imitate what their target is doing in order to set up these connections through the radio frequency technology. So they shadow you or imitate you. So suddenly it becomes very difficult to move about in a graceful or coordinated way. And it's like looking at the world through the eyes of an agent with mild Down syndrome who has psychiatric problems. They try to induce their behavior in me. For example, if I'm putting down a brick and it does not fit right, so I try to reset the brick and it still doesn't fit right. What these agents would do, their reflex, is to have a rage outburst. So these are the world's handlers. These are the type of people who have connected to everybody in politics, everybody in the government, everybody in science, every professor at the universities who are any good, to all the writers, to all the best people in business. Maybe they had their own business or corporation. Maybe they were good in the financial sector. You will get one of these agents like Mike Birbiglia or Mel Gibson, also known as Mark Rolston, connected to you. And that alone will ruin your life. And then these agents act as Peter Schiff, level-headed, honest financial advisor, one of the more honest people with financial information. These are the only type of people who are allowed to succeed, especially in the media. And what is sad is that the media also includes the internet. It also includes YouTube. So regular people are not allowed to succeed anywhere in the media. Even on the internet, even on YouTube. They don't want the regular people to see other regular people. Especially if you excel at something, if you are doing something well, or you are endeavoring to do something, you will attract these type of agents who will do whatever they can to destabilize your life, steal what you're working on, steal your ideas, steal your production, and then destabilize your lives. These agents are from the most wealthy families from Europe. And in the United States, they were known as the different tycoon families, or magnate families, a real estate tycoon, a railroad tycoon, the banking families. When you hear about these super rich families in America, these are all cover families that work for the aristocrats from England. That's what the Bushes and the Harrimans and the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers and the DuPonts, that's what they are. And they are currently invading and attacking America. In their perspective, America is a colony, or America was a colony of England. They own all of America anyway. And they come over here and they take over using the MK Ultra program, using monopoly corporations that buy everything else out, and of course using the media to lie to you about everything that they do and make sure that nobody is a success but them. So people have to understand how psychotic the elite are. These people practice human sacrifice rituals. These people are into snuff film production. The elite class, the rich 1%, are the most disturbed and psychotic people in the entire world. They are packs of serial killers. Many of them have been identified to be serial killers. King Charles, one of the men who act as King Charles, has been identified to be the serial killer Ted Bundy. One of the men who act as King Charles's brother, Prince Andrew, has been identified to be the serial killer John Wayne Gacy. This is what their secret societies are into. When you hear about secret societies like the Freemasons, when you hear rumors that these secret societies are up to no good, this is what they are involved in. Because the MK Ultra program culminates in them attacking their victims, attacking their targets, the people that they connect to, using the radio frequency technology, become their victims. And at this point, they are interested in going after people who they consider will be the biggest threats to them intellectually. Anybody who shows any potential, integrity. At this point, they are going after specific families in America who they plan on wiping out to completely take over America. And these are the families who consider constitutional rights and human rights of the utmost importance. The people who believe in a free country and a free world where everybody deserves equal rights and a chance to work hard and make it in whatever endeavor they pursue will become the targets of this aristocrat class that wants the royal class and then the peasants and then the low classes that they will control through a welfare state. And then quickly, if you are controlled by welfare, the royal class, the elite class, can cut you off. They could kick you out of your Section 8 apartments. They could kick you out of your welfare apartment. They could cut off your food stamps because you forgot to fill out an application correctly. They'll come up with some excuse to cut you off of your welfare, and that will cause you to be homeless. And once you are sleeping in a tent on the side of the road. It is very easy for these secret societies, for these agents of these secret societies to abduct you and kill you. And that is truly their only interest. It goes back into ancient times where these religious-based secret societies practiced human sacrifice. So the aristocrats have always been tied in with the religions, with the priest class, with the rabbi class, with the clergy caste. In the past, some people have said that the clergy, the priesthood, have worked hand in hand with the royalty, with the aristocrat class, and together they have leaned on each other for their system of power. But the truth is that they are in fact one class. The same people who act as princes and barons and kings, who have all these royal titles, they are also the rabbis and the priests of Judaism and Roman Catholicism and all the mainstream religions and all of the largest religions. It is like a club that they are all a part of, the clergy class. And another club that they are all a part of are the secret societies and fraternal orders like the Freemasons and the Oddfellows and the Shriners and the Knights of Columbus and the Knights of Malta, etc., etc. There is a fraternity at Yale called Skull and Bones, and I think they also refer to that as the Brotherhood of Death. And they have a ritual. I think they even published that it is a ritual of theirs for their initiates to lie in a coffin as they are initiated into the Skull and Bones fraternity. The reason for this is because they are all involved in ritual murder and death. Many of them are also involved in necrophilia. This is how bad these aristocrats are. They are beyond psychotic. They are the worst criminals in the world. But you are not going to see that when you look at them, when they show up as a spokesperson of some Senate committee, as a spokesperson for their House of Representatives. They're not going to show you that face when they're on the news or being interviewed on TV. They are going to show you the face of the general public who they imitate, who they connect to and imitate. That is the face that they are going to show you to further their agenda. So agents like Mike Birbiglia rely on this. They depend on this. It is a form of AI to them. When they connect their consciousness to your consciousness, they get to tap into your thoughts. They get to imitate your personality, which they will use to further their agenda. So one of these agents who connect to me is Mike Birbiglia, also known as Prince William. In the 1980s and 90s, he was one of the youth agents who acted as Prince William. I guess there was actually like a dozen of these youth agents who are related. They refer to each other as cousins. All their names are not known in the media, and all of these cousins act as Prince William or Prince Harry. As I continue to recognize their identities, I will continue to publish them. But as for the royal family, there are many children being born that they do not make readily known to the public. They don't want to tell you that the royal family is comprised of 200 or 300 people. They would rather tell you that the royal family is just the same as yours. There's 4 or 5 people in it. That's not the case with them. So when they are younger, these agents are used as child prostitutes. When you hear that many of the Roman Catholic priests are gay and they're constantly being accused of molesting children, this is a major practice in the clergy caste. All of these people are bisexual or homosexual, and they are attracted to children. Another thing that people do not understand is this. Many of these homosexuals are not attracted to other older men. What looks appealing to these older homosexual men are boys and children. So they are all involved in sexual abuse of children. So these youth agents are all molested, some of them when they were babies. And their agents, these young boys and young men that go along with the abuse, are rewarded with acting jobs, with positions in the media, as musicians, as celebrities. If they go along with the abuse, if they are easily programmed into being gay and enjoying or acting like they don't mind dating these older men, these old men, and being used as prostitutes, they date hundreds or thousands of these old men, these old aristocrats, priests and rabbis who are also gay. They are rewarded by being casted in movies, with positions in movies, with positions on the media, and will go on to be your celebrities. So many of you young actors or musicians, if you ever wonder why you are never picked to act in a movie, or if you are never signed by the big record companies, the reason for that is because you are not part of their secret society pedophile network that will only pick the children of pedophiles who are used to growing up in a pedophile-based community focused on religious occult crimes, child molestation, human trafficking, child prostitution, murder for entertainment, adrenaline-saturated blood production. If you have not grown up in those secret societies which practice these things, you are never going to be chosen to act in a big movie or to get your demo tape in front of a record company and be the next new great rap artist or rock star, because they only pick people within their class who are under the strict control of the MK Ultra program. So they like agents like Mike Birbiglia. If you look at the Mike Birbiglia comedy act, Thank God for Jokes, you could see one of the top agents of the MK Ultra program. You will notice this blank look in his eyes. This is a common look with agents of the MK Ultra program. They have this blank, android-like look to their eyes. This individual, Mike Birbiglia, also known as Prince William, is used to being controlled like an android. He is used to transforming into different identities with different personalities that he imitates. Like downloading a program into a computer, he could transform into any number of personalities and appearances. I believe that he is one of the agents that have begun to instill masses of silicone implants throughout their bodies. These agents who are being born with birth defects, such as mild dwarfism, do not like the fact that they are short. So they are having leg surgery to increase their height. And then when their legs are extended, their arms appear short. So many of them are then getting arm extension surgery. Many of them are being born with a birth defect that makes them extremely narrow. They have small rib cages and very narrow shoulders and very skinny necks. That is another birth defect. If they're not being born with mild dwarfism, which makes them very short, wide people, they are being born resembling something like elves, for lack of a better word, which is a very skinny mythological creature. They are being born with a elf look, for lack of a better word. They are very skinny, narrow people. So they are getting silicone muscle implants in their shoulders, in their chest, around their diaphragm area, in their backs, in their necks, in their head to increase their cranium size, in their calf area. They're getting these silicone muscle implants installed all throughout their bodies. And when they are connected to you, It is like being connected to a silicone android. A lot of people think robots will be formed by creating metal androids. The truth is that androids, human robots, are formed by taking a human being and fitting the human being with silicone muscle implants and silicone implants all throughout their body, which can then be controlled like an android through radio frequency technology. Instead of a remote control car, an RC car, you are going to have a remote controlled person or an android. So what works best in creating androids is silicone implants, overlaying a biological system. That is what the aliens have done. When you have heard reports of the short robotic aliens called grays that move around in a robotic state and are controlled by the taller aliens. Those short grays are biological robots. They are synthetic humans, and they are created by taking a human being and fitting that human being with silicone implants and metal implants, which are then easily controlled through radio frequency technology and plasma energy. So Mike Birbiglia is one of the agents who think this is all a great idea. Turning everybody into androids is a great idea if you ask Steve Anderson, also known as Prince William, also known as Ed Norton, also known as Mike Birbiglia, and 1,000 other celebrities. He is always the first choice to appear in any movie that the Weinstein Film Company has in store for us. He is always the first choice to appear as some spokesperson on the media. In fact, he has never felt better. He has never been smoother than when he is connected to others and is under the control of the MK Ultra program. If you take that away from him, he doesn't know what to do. He has trouble thinking. He has trouble behaving in public. He has trouble coming up with what to say. He has trouble looking a certain way. He has trouble with his behavior. He has trouble with his coordination. Agents like Mike Birbiglia rely on the MK Ultra program. There is no way that these agents would ever attempt to expose what is really happening in their MK Ultra program or attempt to stop it. So never look at the establishment or the government or the military on exposing any of this, because it is filled with agents that depend on it. They make a lot of money with it. It is nothing but one success after another for them. This is one of the agents that want to turn the whole race, the whole human race, into a race of androids, which will be controlled by the aliens, known as the Dracs or the Greys. So let me tell you about another trait of these agents that works so well with the MK Ultra program, that functions so well with the radio frequency mind and soma control. Soma meaning body. The MK Ultra program not only controls their minds, not only attempts to control everybody's minds, but attempts to control everybody's bodies as well. And they are trying to do this through these silicone implants. They will even put these silicone implants into their tongue and attempt to prevent you from speaking. When you are connected to agents of the MK Ultra program who have these implants in their tongue, they can make you tongue-tied very easily. So you're not going to be a good public spokesperson. Only guys like Mike Birbiglia or Adam Sandler will be good spokespeople. The aristocrat class is not interested in anything that the middle class has to say anyway, which is why you are never interviewed or allowed any spots in the media. And that's including the internet now. They own it all. They'll use their own people, and they'll simply exclude all the rest of us from that. And if you even try to make a video exposing any of this, they will hook you to an agent with a silicone implant in their tongue who will try to prevent you from speaking. So it's not only mind control, it is soma control or body control. So another trait of these agents is that they are autistic. They have autism. So there may be an argument from these people, but the best movie that I could think of a person who was autistic was a movie called Rain Man, starring Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise. And I guess Rain Man, or Dustin Hoffman, was supposed to be an idiot savant, but I will argue that he is a person with autism. He is autistic. So if you read a description of autism, they will describe autism in a certain way. But I will describe autism in a slightly different way that might not be exactly what the mainstream sources will tell you at this point. But autism, the mental condition autism, should include people classified as idiot savants. I don't know if there's a new, more modern name for that condition, but an idiot savant means that they are part idiotic and they are part genius. So that type of person is shown in the movie Rain Man. He is very good at memorizing things. He is like a genius in some perspectives, but in other perspectives, like in social perspectives and any other perspectives, he is like mentally retarded. Many of these agents are like that. They are autistic. They are very good at memorizing things. They are very good at imitating people. That is why all of these agents, or most of these agents, are trained as professional actors. They are groomed to transform into people. They are groomed to transform into different personalities that they portray in movies and in the media. But there is another side to them, in that they are mildly mentally retarded. Without the MK Ultra program, without their handler telling them what to do, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to think for themselves. So they come across as being like little kids, or what they are, people with mild mental retardation and mild Down syndrome. In the movie Rain Man, when his brother went into his room and began to look at his personal items that he had arranged in a specific order in his room, that began to disturb Rain Man. He did not like anything touched in his room or moved out of place. If you did not put a book back on the shelf in the exact same place it had been, that would disturb Rain Man. He relied on his schedule. If he couldn't watch a specific TV show at 3 o'clock every day, that would throw him off, and he would begin to have a mental problem. That is what agents of the MK Ultra program are exactly like. They are hypersensitive. They need their order. They need everything in its place. They need everything set up the way they are used to. And if you take that away from them, they will begin to show mental collapse. They will begin to expose that they have psychiatric issues or mild mental retardation. They will throw fits. So these are the type of people that can be controlled to do anything. All it takes is to connect agents to them through this radio frequency technology and begin to bother them, begin to torture them a little bit, and these agents will freak out in a matter of seconds. They have been torturing me through this radio frequency technology every day since 2012. Since December of 2012, and right now it is August of 2025. So it's been something like 13 years. I have tolerated their abuses, and I want to tell you that these agents, they do not tolerate this for more than a second before they have these rage outbursts. That's how they're governed. They better go along with everything or else their fellow agents, their older handlers like Mel Gibson, also known as Mark Rolston, will begin to torture Mike Birbiglia a little bit. They might use the technology to hinder his movement a little bit, and almost instantaneously, Mike Birbiglia will go into a state of rage, fear or rage. He will instantly go into a state where he is out of control. So this is how these agents are induced, starting as children, to commit these atrocities in their human sacrifice rituals or snuff films. These agents have autism, mild mental retardation, and they could very easily be put into a state of complete psychosis just by bothering them a little bit using the technology of the MK Ultra program. So the idea that these people are tough, hard agents is an act that they often put on. They often call themselves colonels or sergeants, ex-military, black ops, Delta Force, Commando, Colonel Bo Gritz, Colonel Michael Aquino, tough, hardened military guy. The truth is that they are not hard at all. They are not tough at all. After 13 years of putting up with these MK Ultra abuses, I consider myself hard. I consider myself very tough. You cannot break me. I could be put into this angry state. They could try to induce rage in me, and I could still go through my day-to-day activities. I could still perform any task. I could still get along with people. I can tolerate the pain, the frustration, things not going my way, and I could still maintain absolute control. These people are not like that. If they try to say that they are, it is an act. They are lying. These people cannot tolerate anything. They are groomed that if they have to deal with even the slightest discomfort, they will do whatever their handler wants them to do. They are groomed to give their children over to their secret society. They are groomed to hurt others. They are groomed to go crazy. As soon as the MK Ultra program begins to bother their agents a little bit, they instantly go into panic and rage mode. Instantaneously. I think some of them believe that the quicker they do that, the more the energy gets directed at somebody else. So they are groomed to all add to the anger outbursts while they're connected like a hive mind. So this sort of program is going to destroy society. You connect this pack of psychos to any government agency, to any government branch, and that spells chaos and doom. This is not the way that you deal with this, but this is exactly how these quote-unquote experts are dealing with this. This is what they're trained to do, and this is what they train their younger agents to do, to instantly flip out as soon as they experience even the slightest discomfort of the MK Ultra program. So it's like going into Rain Man's room and start messing up his room, putting things out of order, knocking something on the floor, and then walking over and pinching Rain Man. Rain Man will instantly flip out and go crazy too. An intelligent and tough person will tolerate the MK Ultra abuses, understanding that it will not last forever and it will not help giving into these impulses that are being directed toward them. Your children need you to maintain composure. Your wife needs you to control your temper. You will be able to keep your job if you can maintain your composure and temper. You will be able to drive a vehicle, fly an airplane, act as other people's supervisor, be a problem solver, figure out what to do while being subjected to these elevated energy fields which induce rage, especially in these agents who have mild mental retardation, mild Down syndrome, who are mentally like 5-year-old children, who are products of incest, who are products of child abuse, sexual abuse, and have been controlled and groomed to have out-of-control temper outbursts as soon as they are affected by the MK Ultra program in the least. They have no tolerance or threshold for pain or frustration in the least. They are the absolute worst at dealing with this. They are taught to do the exact opposite of what I have been telling people to do to survive this, like in the documentary series Under Fire, Radio Frequency Warfare. This is Mike Birbiglia. His job is to throw a temper tantrum. When he was younger, with the help of the MK Ultra program, he was called something like a prodigy. Little Prince William, a prodigy. He was brilliant in his elementary school classroom. He knew all the answers as long as the MK Ultra program assisted him. He was top of his class at whatever college or colleges that he went to. As long as the MK Ultra program is assisting him, as long as everything is planned out ahead of time, little Mike Birbiglia, he would do real well. An autistic, idiot savant Rain Man who is skilled at imitating people, who is skilled at memorizing things. He would do real well. But as soon as something doesn't go Mike Birbiglia's way, Mike Birbiglia will throw a temper tantrum. If somebody gets a better grade than Mike Birbiglia, Mike Birbiglia will react by attempting to attack or destroy those who show intelligence or challenge him and his program in any way. Usually by thinking for themselves or doing well in something, you will incur the wrath of agents like Mike Birbiglia, also known as Prince William, also known as Ed Norton. Over the decades and the centuries, if you worked hard at something, all they have to do is connect you to Mike Birbiglia, Frankenstein's monster, and then he could throw his Down syndrome temper tantrum 100 times a day until you end up getting into an argument with somebody out in public or getting into a car accident, and then all your money and all your work will be directed to Mike Birbiglia and his handler Mark Rolston, also known as Mel Gibson, also known as John Hines, also known as Dr. Robert DeCina. That is how these aristocrat families have made their fortunes through the centuries. They act like little out-of-control lunatics. Their behavior affects you through this alien-controlled MK Ultra radio frequency technology that has been around for thousands of years. Their behavior affects you when they are connected to you. And when you start to break, all of your work, all of your money, everything will be channeled right to the royal family, right to the Rothschild family, right to the Vanderbilt family, right to the Weinstein family, right to the Bush family, right to the Rockefeller family. So this is part of the alien agenda, and a huge part of that process was for the aliens, the Dracs, to take the weakest, most inept, most stupid, most irresponsible, most psychotic, unexperienced people and elevate them into positions of power. And they are groomed to imitate the strongest, the people who have worked hard to become experts in any given field are connected to these agents of the MK Ultra program, who will imitate them, who will copy them in the process of destabilizing their target's life and then moving in to take over their field. Then you have these little clones, these little androids who are good at imitating everybody who they replaced. This is part of the alien agenda to make sure that the most weak type of people in the world are put into positions of power. And that is why we have so many problems on planet Earth. This is how the malevolent aliens called the Dracs have maintained control through their religious cults and secret societies and their aristocrat and royal class. So when I first met Matt Schuster at the Our Lady of Sorrows Elementary School in White Plains, New York, he came across as the smartest kid in our grade. He always knew the right answer when the teacher called on him. He always got 100% right on the different tests. And when he spoke, he sounded exactly like Ian Armitage. In fact, Ian Armitage is believed to be his son or his relative. Maybe they share the same father, but that personality of Ian Armitage is a personality that is shared by many different agents of the MK Ultra program. It is probably sourced from a real kid. For example, the most intelligent kid in England had that personality. And so the MK Ultra program decided to imitate that personality. And they gave it to their Prince William. Matt Schuster also acted as Prince William from the royal family of England. So Ian Armitage will act kind of brainy when he speaks. It's in the context of a child prodigy. It's almost like an older person speaking through a young boy. So that should get everybody's attention. They should begin to recognize that personality type because it is not natural for kids to behave that way. If you begin to speak to a young person and they act like they are an older person, like a college-aged intellect, speaking through a 8 or 10-year-old boy, in most cases, that child is a product of the MK Ultra program. So I would get bored in class at the Our Lady of Sorrows Elementary School. And so to pass the time, I would draw little funny pictures and I would pass them around to other kids in my class. And some of them would draw a funny cartoon in return and pass it back to me. So one day Steve, also known as Matt Schuster, approached me during recess and said to me, "I see that you like drawing cartoons. Here are a few that I drew. Would you like to take a look?" I said, "Sure." And he showed me 2 drawings that he drew. One using a compass. A compass has a point on one end connected to a pencil on the other so that you could draw perfect circles. So he had So he had drawn a series of circles, different sizes, and he had formed a man. And he said that was Circle Man. And he said that I could have that, but that would cost me 10 cents. But he had another drawing that was only 5 cents if I would like to purchase that one. So I told him no, I did not want to buy his artwork. So that is the sort of attitude that these kids will have. I'm drawing pictures, funny pictures, and handing them around the class. I don't even care if I get these pictures back. And one of these junior agents will approach you and attempt to sell you some of his artwork. So once again, it shows you that there is an older person, most definitely a wealthy person, who is influencing these junior agents, like Steve. So these kids, even though they appear brainy because they have an adult connected to them that is telling them what to say, they cannot think for themselves. If you disconnect them from their handler and say, why don't you come up with an idea of something to do, they are unable to do that. If you disconnect them from their handler and say, what would you like to talk about? Pick a subject and discuss something with us. They are unable to do that. Their minds are normally blank. They have nothing going on in their minds. It's like they are brain dead. And that is what they have been programmed to be like through the MK Ultra program. They constantly need to be told what to do or what to say. And left on their own, their minds are blank. They are brain dead, usually. And that is why it is so important for them to continuously imitate other people and then go around and act like they're these other personalities that they've seen. And even with that, the best you'll get is the Ian Armitage act. That's the best you'll get. They'll know how to smile a little more naturally. They might look a little better. But they will always have these signs that will give them away. They are extremely greedy. They are extremely selfish. They have antisocial personality disorder. They don't know how to relate to other people. So the only way they know how to get by is to imitate regular people. So I believe that Steve was placed in that elementary school in order to imitate people like me. I was one of the personalities that he learned to imitate in order to appear more normal when approaching other members of the middle class and in different countries, because these agents are used in the media, they're used in politics, and they're used in movies. So if they lose that connection to regular people, they begin to regress. And they start looking unusual because they are alien hybrids. Their families are genetic experiments by the aliens. And this has gone on for thousands of years. And they are programmed to all practice child molestation. They will molest their own children. And when their kids get to be a little bit older and they continue to molest them, children are born. And these children are a product of incest. You know what is interesting is that Ted Bundy, who is a serial killer, there are reports that his older sister is his mother. His older sister was being molested by her father, and they produced a child named Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy is the product of incest. So when I looked this up on the internet, I found a report by a woman, and this woman had decided to defend Ted Bundy's family and say that these were all terrible rumors about Ted Bundy and that he was not the product of incest. So after hearing what she had to say, I think she had a documentary and she had a book. I had to ask, what stimulated this woman to want to do this? What would influence this woman to wake up one day and say, hey, I want to defend one of the worst serial killers and his family, and shoot down the information which reported that he was a product of incest? This is one of the worst people on the planet. Why would she want to defend him? If anything, him being the product of incest would explain a lot of things about serial killers. Because a lot of the people wanted to know, what makes a serial killer? Why do some people become bloodthirsty psychopaths that go around attacking young college students, for example? And so they interviewed Ted Bundy. And Ted Bundy will sit there and tell you that he came from a wonderful Christian family. And there was no abuse in his family whatsoever. And he'll tell you that in his last interview. And then after that, he was supposedly executed. And if any reports come up that there was child molestation happening in the Bundy home, and so much in fact that they're producing little inbred children in the Bundy home, and one of those inbred children are Ted Bundy himself. Different reporters and psychologists will stand up to fight those rumors. The truth is that all of these high-ranking members of these secret societies, like the Freemasons and the Oddfellows, which are controlled by the clergy caste, are all practicing child molestation and are producing inbred children. And they've done this for centuries. And this is why we have so many problems in the world with greed and economic problems and wars and famine and starvation and crime. It's because these people promote all of that. They can't get enough of all of that. They are all like Ted Bundy. So in conclusion, Ted Bundy, the serial killer Ted Bundy, is also known as King Charles from the royal family of England. His brother, Prince Andrew, is identified as John Wayne Gacy, another serial killer. These people are all psychotic. They're all products of incest. And they are all part of occult, religious, secret societies that are controlled by the clergy caste, who are all part of different royal houses. These are the most wealthy people in the world. So Matt Schuster, also known as Kurt Cobain, he is also known as Jay Sincere. Number 2, there are 2 different men who are photographed who look a lot alike on a Facebook page called Jay Sincere. And it got my attention because in 2 of the photographs that they post on their Facebook page, they're holding a baby kind of close to a bonfire. And in one of those photographs, Jay Sincere has his eyes closed. And the photo description says something about a baby roast. I think it says baby roast photo bomb. So the 2 men who call themselves Jay Sincere have been identified to be Matt Schuster, also known as Kurt Cobain, and Mike Smith, also known as Casey Affleck. Mike Smith is also believed to act as Mike Savannah, who approached my wife, Rachel Vogt, after we had been separated, and told her that he wanted to start a landscape company with her, which is one of her dreams. And so he became her boyfriend, and our family became another divorced family. So that is the type of person that these secret societies, controlled by the clergy caste, would send to befriend my ex-wife after we had been separated, after she had to move back home with her parents because we were losing our condominium in Waterbury, Connecticut. So I knew Mike Smith as Tyler Kerr. That was another one of his identities. And I have a video called Jonah Hill Exposed that has a lot of footage that I took of Mike Smith, also known as Casey Affleck, acting as Tyler Kerr, the underground poet. So I would take video of him performing spoken word poetry. I would often put it to music, and I would edit these videos and give him a copy of these videos so that he could upload them onto his YouTube channel. And so to repay me for being his friend and doing whatever I could do to further his dream of being a poet, the first thing that one of these members of these secret societies, the son of Admiral Dennis Blair, wanted to do was to help the program split up my family so that he could act as the head of household and enable the United States military and these secret societies to do whatever they wanted to do. So Mike Smith is the son of Larry Smith, who has been identified to be Admiral Dennis Blair, the former Director of National Intelligence. So if you want to see what type of men these people are, you can look at this photo of Mike Smith, also known as Jay Sincere, holding a baby near a bonfire and writing "baby roast photobomb" as a description. These are the type of people these members of these secret societies are. These are the type of young men that the sons of Admiral Dennis Blair are. This is what they are into. Before discovering what these people are involved in, never in my life would it even occur to me to burn a baby or anything over a bonfire. And these guys think it is funny. I would not be surprised to learn that this little kid in this picture is a missing person now. These people, like Jay Sincere number 1, also known as Mike Smith, and Jay Sincere number 2, also known as Matt Schuster, are mildly mentally retarded. This is what they think is funny. These are some of the ideas that will occur to them while they're holding their baby. As a father, there is nothing more life-changing than becoming a parent and then going through life as a father with your children. And look at what this degenerate is doing in this photograph. Look at what he's writing in the description. This is proof that these people are psychotic. This is proof that these people are involved in burning people. This is what will occur to Jay Sincere, also known as Mike Smith, when he's holding his baby. So Jay Sincere, number 2, has been identified to be Matt Schuster, also known as Steve, who I met at Our Lady of Sorrows Elementary School in White Plains, New York in the mid-1980s. During recess, he would stand by the teachers. It was him and 2 or 3 other kids that would stand on the playground during recess. This is when we were about 9 and 10 years old. He wouldn't go on the swings. He wouldn't play on the playground. He wouldn't play football. I think in the 6th grade, we played football every day during recess. 2-hand touch football. So Matt Schuster and 2 or 3 other individuals would just stand there, usually where the teachers stood, so that they could see the whole playground. And for some reason, he did not want to get involved in any activities on the playground during recess. Once again, it illustrates an odd person, an odd young person who is under the control of a secret society. They do not act like children. They act like little old men, because that is what is controlling them, and that is who they are dating romantically, are old men who are priests and rabbis. And one day they will grow up to be an old man pedophile, priest, or rabbi as well. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Yeah, cool.
So are you admiring that?
I'm admiring it, all right.
I'm a carpenter. I'm a carpenter.
You are, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. I can all my this? Like this? Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Give them all to her or whatever she wants. Oh, here's this thing. I don't think that'll fit your thing if you want to try and bring away or whatever, but I got bigger ones. Too. It's got to be more expensive than a green tarp.
So you stay inside too in the house?
No, I live in Terryville right now. Actually, I'm staying over the neighbor's mom. I'm caretaking for her because she's like 85 years old. So I make sure she eats and takes her pills and stuff. She's like a second mom to me, so.
Think we can go to Burger King?
Yeah, definitely,
You know?
definitely. So the only other thing of note is that we had a play. One of our teachers wanted to put on a play, a theatrical play, one year at Our Lady of Sorrows Elementary School. So instead of religion class, we would go down to the auditorium and practice putting on a play. And our teacher had selected the comic strip called Peanuts. I don't know if it's a little dated, but it's the Charlie Brown comic strip. They call it Peanuts. Every Sunday, what would come with the newspaper was the funny pages that had the comic strips. And one of the comics was called Peanuts. And it was the most boring comic I have ever read. In my opinion, I did not understand it. It was never clever. It was never amusing. I could never relate to it. And the Peanuts comic had a character of a little bald boy named Charlie Brown. And Charlie Brown was usually hanging around a doghouse with a dog named Snoopy. And for some reason, Snoopy would lie on the peaked roof of his doghouse, staring up at the sky, sleeping all the time. And Charlie Brown would be like leaning against the side of the doghouse. And they would have a short dialogue, and it would be something kind of dull and drab. For example, Charlie Brown would say something like, "I'm thinking about going downtown and getting a milkshake." And Snoopy the dog would reply, "Why bother when you could just take a nap?" And then Charlie Brown would reply, "Sigh." Every Sunday, a comic like that would be in the Sunday paper. So Peanuts, in my opinion, is the most boring comic I have ever read. It didn't make any sense to me, but that had some sort of impact on our teacher, and she wanted to put on a theatrical presentation of Peanuts. So she handed out the script one day, and we all took turns reading the script. And then she chose who would get what part. So I think there's something like 10 or 15 different characters in the Peanuts comic book. So once they were all given out, the main characters, the teacher decided to make up some names for the rest of the class that didn't land one of the main roles. And I was one of those guys. And I think the role I landed was of Bob. I don't think there's a Bob in the Peanuts comic strip, but that's who, that was the role given to me. I was Bob. So the teacher would just get the lines from Charlie Brown and give it to Bob. So it's something that Charlie Brown would usually say, but instead of Charlie Brown saying it, the character Bob would say it. So all of the material was from the Peanuts comic strip, and I was Bob. So what I realized is that I wasn't really into the theater. So I had one line. It was one or two lines. And once again, it was kind of boring. And I was speaking to a female, and the female said something like she was nervous about going to the library. And my line was, when you get to the library, just hold your library card up over your head with both hands, with a big smile on your face. Now, don't you feel inspired? So, if a girl walked up to a normal person and said, "I don't like going to the library. I am nervous about going to the library," a normal person's response should be something like, "Why? Why do you get scared or nervous going to the library? So hold your library card up over your head with both hands and walk in. Don't you feel inspired? What type of kid would say that to another kid? Why would you walk into the library holding your library card up over your head? What does that imply? You're showing everybody that you have a right to be there? Is that your military ID? Are you showing everybody that you have clearance to be there? Are those your Nazi credentials? Are you showing all the Nazis that those are your credentials, that you belong there? Is that like showing the Nazis your papers in Germany? Walk around with your papers held over your head with both hands to show everybody your papers, your Nazi paperwork, so that you won't have anxiety. Where does this come from? Like I said, my character said that in the play, and my character's name was Bob. But I think that those lines were taken from something that Charlie Brown would normally say. So Charlie Brown was a bald boy, and one of his buddies was Linus, and it looked like Linus was slowly going bald. His hair was thinning out real good. But here they are, 12-year-old boys saying things like they're old, scared old men. Broken, scared, weird, antisocial, autistic men. Kids don't talk that way to each other. So that was the sort of play that our teacher would select for us. The Peanuts comic strip. So of course, guess who got the lead role of Charlie Brown? And that was Steve. None other than Steve. The teacher loved him. So to this day, I cannot remember the point of that play. I do not remember a plot. I remember a few different movies that were on TV around that time. I could remember the plot, but I cannot remember the plot for the Peanuts theatrical presentation at OLS, elementary school. And I was in it. So that tells me that there was no plot. So when they say to people that life is a stage, life is an act, they are lying to you. That is a quote directly out of these secret societies. That's all they are, is an act. Everything they have for you is a lie and an illusion. So a lot of people, they think that they can't wait to work real hard at something and then make it big. To work real hard at professional sports and then become a professional baseball player. To work real hard at music and then land a record deal. Or in my case, to work real hard on writing a book and then becoming a well-known writer. When it comes to their great illusion, when it comes to their great act, nothing is real. Even the underground punk rock musicians with drug habits who last for a couple of years on stage before they die are an act. We can't even get a real punk rocker. We, as the American people, are not allowed to even see a real drug-addled and drunk punk rocker. They have to imitate that and give it to one of their little inbred amphibian hybrids like Steve from White Plains, New York, to pretend that he is some punk rock musician. Kurt Cobain has also been recognized to be the actor Ed Norton and also the actor Brad Pitt. And there are probably hundreds of other roles that he plays because the clergy and the royal cast love him. He is one of them. He is an alien hybrid. These people are anti-human. These people are against creativity, individualism, art, music, independence. So sooner or later, people are going to have to realize that we cannot go to them for anything. And that includes to try to make it big in sports or in the movies or in the music industry. Because it is not going to happen. Because if you are not born into one of their secret societies, they are not going to promote you. They do not want you in the public eye. They only want the rest of their fakes in the public eye that know how to lie and hide information. So what people are going to have to do is that if they want to be in a movie, they are going to have to create the movie. They are going to have to write the movie. They are going to have to direct the movie. If you want to publish a book, you are going to have to write and self-publish that book. You cannot write a book and then hope for a literary agent to do the rest. To get your book in Borders bookstore. To get your book well known on Amazon. To get your book on the shelves of every well-known bookstore. To get you an interview on a television show. Because this is not going to happen. They are too afraid of any real people getting any power in the media because they begin to discuss some real issues, and these real issues begin to expose the crimes of the elite. If you want to become a musician, you are going to have to do that yourself. You're not going to get on MTV. You could be the best guitar player in the world. You could have the most creative, original, and awesome songs. They will not put you on MTV. They will not put your stuff on the radio. At best, they will steal what they want to from your music and redo it with one of their actors. They are not going to promote you. So that might sting a little bit, hearing that. A lot of people will say, hey, you just killed my dream. I don't want to hear that. People are not going to want to hear that. But it's the truth. So I'm a pretty good critic. I'm a pretty good writer. I wrote a novel called Leech Mob, a novel about a Connecticut gang. And I wrote a screenplay called Primitive America. And I wrote a novelette called American Nightmare. So I check out the movies on Netflix. I do not have cable TV anymore, but I have Netflix. And they occasionally put more of the well-known movies on Netflix from time to time. They're not all Netflix originals. But the quality of these movies keeps going down. They're getting worse and worse. It used to be that I'll rent a movie and I would be interested for the first half of it, for the first quarter of it, and then it would start to get a little bit boring in the middle. I cannot even sit through the previews now. It's kind of funny. Instead of watching movies now, while I'm waiting for my dinner to cook, I'll watch a series of previews. I don't even want to see the movies anymore. If I put on a movie, I could barely watch 5 or 10 minutes of it. Is the acting okay? Yeah, the acting's okay. How about the costumes? Are the costumes okay? Yeah, I guess so. How about the set, the special effects, the money that went into it? Yeah, that's all there too. What's missing with these movies? And that'll be the intelligence. There is no intelligence to the movie. The creativity is missing. There is no creativity to the movies. The originality is missing. None of these movies are original. There are no original thoughts in these movies. There is no heart in these movies. There is no compassion. There is no soul in these movies. The soul is missing. There are no strong humans in these movies. The humanity is missing. These are movies made by Greys for Greys. Even the plots to these movies seem to contain a bunch of cryptic messages from the elite to the elite. The movies are creepy. The movies are depressing. I cannot relate to the main characters. I cannot relate to what they are saying. The great nothing has taken over Hollywood. The great nothing has taken over the media. There is just nothing there. And if you find something there, 100% of the time, it has been stolen from you, the regular people. All that stuff that you send in, your short stories, your music tracks, your TikTok dances, your art school films, they steal parts of that. If you see anything in there that's even a little bit real, it has been stolen from you, the regular people. So sooner or later, people are going to realize this more and more, and it's going to begin to hurt them. Nobody is going to want to go to their sports events anymore. Nobody is going to want to go to their Lady Gaga concerts anymore. Nobody is going to want to buy their books anymore. I don't stand in front of Redbox contemplating what movie to rent because I know that they're all garbage. They're all a waste of time. So this is going to hurt them when you realize what they are. When you realize the level of their treachery and their hatred for you. You should despise these people. If they have a new character in politics, you should despise them. If they have a new character on YouTube, the renegade activist, you should despise them. They will never come around. There will never be a fight that was fought within their group and the better guys won. It's all an illusion from them. None of these people will ever get anything right. But that will be their game, to act like Donald Trump was one of those rich guys that woke up and he became president of the United States, and now they're shooting at him. They're attempting to assassinate him. That's how much the establishment doesn't like him. But he woke up and he has a great message for the American people. Donald Trump, President of the United States, has been identified to be 7 or 8 different agents of the MK Ultra program who all make their living positioning themselves around me. I'm sorry if that sounds egotistical, but that's exactly the way it is. These men are criminals. These men are pedophiles. All of these men, all of these Donald Trumps work for England. They work for the royal family of England. They work for King Charles, also known as Ted Bundy, a serial killer. So by realizing that, this is how real people will begin to take over. And this is how they will lose power. They thought it would be a great power move to exclude all of you, to exclude everybody real. So this will be how regular people will begin to form an alternative media, an alternative government. This is how the American public will begin to create a real alternative music scene. This is how the general public will create a real underground literary scene. This will become a new renaissance, and the enemy of this will be these little establishment weirdos that you see every time you turn on your TV and hear every time you turn on your radio. Every last one of them are pedophiles and are into hurting people, torturing people for their own entertainment. All these people in politics, all these people in the media, all these people in the movies are the worst criminals in the world. But they will keep that power over you as long as you continue to take them serious. They are nothing more than a pack of prostitutes. They are nothing more than an act. They are nothing more than an imitation of real people. These people are grays. They're first generation bio-robots. They are synthetic humans. There is nothing about these people that is right. And because of that, they will lose.